I understand what you're saying. Do you have any other questions for her, though?
Are you sure you're wrapping your head around what I'm saying, Your Honor?
Do you have any other questions for this witness?
It's working. It looks like it's working. This is the first time that I'm aware of, friends, where Darrell Brooks Jr. basically questions Judge Dorow's intelligence. How's it going, everyone? You're watching Sight Sounds Flavors on YouTube, sightsoundsflavors.com. If at any point in time you like the video, smash that like button. Boy, does this help. Girl, this helps a lot. It tells YouTube and the world that you enjoy this content, that we're putting out good content here, and that you like it. Smash that like button, okay? You can tap on it. Just go ahead and, just push on that like button, because that's going to help a lot. The other thing that's going to help a lot is if you subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, and also check out our members section and leave a comment down below. Comments inspire me to make more videos. Can you wrap your head around that one? Man, I cannot believe Darrell Brooks Jr., the level of disrespect that he had for Judge Dorow was mind-boggling. It was mind-boggling. And for somebody that always wanted to get the record right, you would think, because he always wanted a grounds for the substain, you know what I mean? He always wanted to, keep the laughter at the other table down to a minimum, and honestly, it's one of those things where I just can't wrap my head around it. I can't wrap my head around, because I don't get it. But in any event, guys, we're still making videos here at Sight Sounds Flavors. We're still accepting clips. So, if you want to send us a clip and you want me to do like a minute or two, I'll do it. It's not like, 2023 or whatnot all over again. I mean, I'm not, obviously, but there's still a lot of parts of the trial. Like this part here, I wasn't familiar with. Like where he tells the judge, are you sure you can wrap your head? I mean, that's just that's just wrong, man. That's wrong. But, yeah, I'd never seen this clip before. Sometimes I'm at a loss because the trial was only like 15 or 16 days, right? It wasn't like a months-long trial. I think it was I don't even think it hit 20 days. But I guess, some days it was like 6 hours of I don't know. I'm just saying that there's clips, because they sent me this clip, and as I always ask for clips, if it's less than 30 seconds, send me the first and the last 10 seconds. Basically, don't send me anything less than 30 seconds because, I may cut it at different spots. I may not be able to use the exact portion. I just want to have, I want to have a little bit of room. So anyways, they sent me a 37-second video, and the clip that they were talking about was very comfortably in the middle of that. So what is the middle of 37? Like 20 seconds or yeah, like not 20, the clip that I played that made the cut was 10 seconds long. So maybe maybe 10 on one side and 12 on the other. Basically 10 seconds back on one side, 12 seconds forward on the other side. I didn't know anything about that either. In other words, I didn't it's not just that I'd never seen this little 10-second clip. I'd not seen the 20 seconds before it or the 20 some odd seconds after it. So it was an area of a good minute that, and again, a minute doesn't sound like much time, but still, I mean, not every minute of the 20 days of trial was something that we could I know it's messed up because it's a horrible thing that this person did, but we're not in any way, shape, or form defending him. We're laughing at him, but it's just not, what he did wasn't funny, but just the way that he tried to defend himself, and just that part, unfortunately, he's being quite serious. We're laughing at him. What I'm trying to say is there's not going to be 6 hours a day times 19 days worth of content like that. So the fact that something like this, are you sure, can you wrap your head around it? That's not a very common exchange. And so for this, March 30th, 2025, for this to be the first time that I ever saw this clip is mind-boggling. It is. It really is. I'm not trying to say mind-boggling because Darrell Brooks said it. It's mind-boggling because it's just mind-boggling. And so, anyways, I'm going to leave it there. I suddenly had a thought of Dr. Mary Edwards, but nothing that we're talking about right now has to do with Dr. Mary Edwards. So I'm going to just kind of like remove her from my mind, and Dawn can go with her. The roommate, somebody, listen, let me just go ahead. What are we at? 5 minutes? Let me just go ahead and make this like a Darrell Brooks commentary. I haven't done that in a while, and I'm not going to really go off more than like 4 or 5 minutes. So the other day, somebody said, why don't you ever talk about the roommate? Well, I'll present that question to you guys. And, if any of you want to leave a comment, okay, please do so. And what should we talk? Because honestly, I think that the Darrell Brooks Jr. that the roommate knew was not the other Darrell Brooks Jr. that the rest of the world knew. For a couple of reasons. I don't think they ever dated. I think that part as much is true. I'm not saying that any of it isn't true, because I don't think that she's a bad person. I don't know her, first and foremost. I don't know her. But I also didn't know Erica. I also didn't know, what's the tough guy's name? Like, he's like a sort of tougher person. The judge really liked him, and Darrell did not. I don't remember. But I put in as much truth into what the roommate said as I put into these folks. Because I don't know them, and they seem like decent people. But she was his friend. She is his friend. But I don't know that there's anything in her testimony, honestly, because Dawn was like wrong on so many levels, but gets a lot of forgiveness from me because she's a mom. But that poem selection and some of her... See, Dawn actually did some media, and she was always a very distraught mom, and listen, but some of the interviews that she did, they're a little combative, but she's also not just a mom either. A lot of people would like to see Dawn charged as an accessory after the fact. And if you go by the witness that lent Darrell his phone, I don't know. I think Dawn knew a lot more than what Dawn gave up. And sorry, I'm doing this one on the old phone, and so I got a text message. And the text message comes like this, but by looking closer at it, I can kind of look at it without, switching my eyes or whatever, my look. But so again, in any event, I don't just talk about whatever, folks ask me to talk about in the comments. I do have some standards, you know what I mean? And I also like to investigate a little bit, and I also like to. I want to make sure that it's like something, cohesive. But, over the last couple of years, I have had a lot of people say, why don't you talk about the roommate's testimony? And I don't know. First of all, she didn't give testimony. She was basically there for an impact statement of sorts, or to give some sort of like character, not even an impact statement, because she's not involved in the crime. She wasn't a victim of the crime. So it wouldn't even be that. It would just be a statement in support of her friend, Darrell Brooks Jr., or sentencing, whatever, I don't know. And not in support of what he did, but in support of him as a person, just, being a friend. I don't know. I don't find anything in what she said. I have an appointment for my therapist. I'm so happy. Thank you so much for the text message. That's got to be an automated thing, because if that wasn't, man, that is some serious hardcore work ethic right there. But basically, I don't feel that she said anything that really warrants me making a video on. Leave me a comment if you think otherwise. Because Nicholas Kirby, that was the one I couldn't remember. For some reason, the judge loved Nicholas Kirby. The prosecution loved Nicholas Kirby. And he's become somewhat of a, I don't know, like, he's kind of like, I don't want to say a star, but remember what happened to Cato during the OJ trial? He kind of became a star in a way. Well, that Nicholas Kirby guy apparently has become quite a bit of a star in the Darrell Brooks Jr. orbit, like the whole orbit that is these videos and your comments and everything. And somebody had told me that he was in Boise, Idaho, I think. I don't know. And he got mobbed. Like people were just, they wanted autographs, high fives. I mean, like honestly, like I'm going to be honest with you, his the way that he handled himself was pretty impressive, though. I mean, because not a lot of people. I mean, he looked like he was. He looked like he would have torn up Darrell Brooks Jr. Not figuratively, like literally. He looked pretty angry, but he just kind of kept it cool. You know what I mean? But you could tell this guy. But then I've heard some other stuff. I don't know the thing. Like I'm just basing it on what I saw for the testimony, and yeah, I mean, you know, a lot of people were impressed by that. But the judge and prosecutors, you know, included. But no, I don't think I'll be making any videos about anything the roommate said, unless some of you can give me something like really like, because and as much as I don't want to do this, because I feel that you know, I don't know, I don't want to criticize Dawn or Dr. Mary Edwards, because they're like family of, you know, and just it feels wrong. But Dr. Mary Edwards, I'm curious what she's got going on now in 2025. Is the podcast series, are we having another season of that? Will she be, you know, on the east side of Detroit? Will she be like, what will she be, what is she doing right now? I'm curious, because, you know, a person that has given her life to help the community. I'm not laughing at you, Dr. Mary. I'm laughing at your online ecclesiastical PhD school, or I don't know. You know, I don't know. I'm going to go over to her website and see. I listened to her podcast a little bit. I felt like I was at the trial. And I don't know. She's like, I don't know. And then Dawn, I mean, I don't know. So many lives were destroyed as a result of this, you know. But listen, sometimes I ask myself, why am I talking about this? But it's just like one of those things. Why are people still talking about the OJ trial? And you know they are a lot. There's like 3 little YouTube groups. There's like 3 or 4 little Facebook groups about this trial. You know, about a total of like maybe 3,000 people. You know, that's nothing. You go on the OJ Simpson. That 3,000 people isn't even like one of their new groups on the OJ Simpson trial. There's like millions of people actively talking about that. OJ never even spoke at his trial. Darrell Brooks Jr. spoke for like hundreds of hours. You know, I mean, then you had like the interrogation. I mean, you had, but it's just such a train wreck of a, you know, of a trial. But look, the right result happened. But it's just the process of it. People just can't believe that this was even real. I've had people ask me if the Darrell Brooks Jr. trial was a movie. I'm like, what are you talking about?